Hey, do you want to build a stronger family, create a better life? Well, that's what Divorce with Heart is all about. It's a show where I guide you along your divorce and co-parenting journey using the heart's wisdom, intuition, and legal expertise. So sit back, take a deep breath, relax. My name is Gina DiPrima. Let's get started. Hello, thank you for joining me today. This is Divorce with Heart and Conscious Co-Parenting, and we are at episode 31. And today I want to talk about gratitude. I mean, of course, it's that time of year, right? We're just had Thanksgiving here in the States, and, you know, all the other major holidays are approaching, Christmas, Hanukkah, you name it. So it's the holiday season, and I want to talk about gratitude today. And most importantly, I want to look at it from the angle of finding gratitude, especially when it's so difficult, right? When we're talking about finding gratitude, finding something to be grateful for, something to be thankful for, when you're looking at your ex or considering your history and your relationship and what you're going through right now. You know, maybe you're in the middle of the divorce, or maybe you're struggling with coming to terms with custody or co-parenting or something like that. And I know that these are the times that are the most challenging when we're talking about gratitude. So that's really what I want to try to focus on here today. And, you know, I really believe that at the bottom of it all, despite what your situation is, despite your history and the size of your anger or how long you dated and the decisions you made and, you know, the choices you regret, you know, all of that happened, despite all of the water under the bridge, right? Despite all of it, I really believe that at the heart of it all, at the bottom of it all, each and every one of us, each and every one of you really wants peace and forgiveness for your ex, you know, for the father of your children, for the mother of your children, for your ex-husband, right? We all want that. We all want forgiveness. We want to be forgiven. We want to forgive, and we want things to be easy. And, you know, that's what you get when you have more peace. Things are easier. There's less fighting. There's less drama. There's less money wasted on attorneys, right? I mean, let's face it, attorneys aren't cheap. So I really think that if you can dig deep underneath all of those emotions that all of us are feeling at some time or another, right? At the bottom of it all, we all strive for the same thing. We want life to be easy, we want it to be peaceful, and we want happiness. And somewhere in there, I think, at least on an intellectual level, on a level of the mind, I think some of us can also all agree and get behind the idea that what we're doing today and how we're living our life today is going to directly impact our life tomorrow, right? Our future life. So therefore, our future happiness and our future peace depends a lot on what we do today, how we live today, and the choices that we make. And that's why I'm saying that I really think deep down inside, if we all want the same thing, we all want a nice, happy life, an easy life, a life filled with love, right? Then we got to start and we got to look at the choices we're making today, our actions, you know, that we're engaging in today, our behaviors today. And that's why I want to talk about gratitude, because gratitude is what's necessary here, because without it, you can't have forgiveness and you can't have peace, right? So gratitude is like a key that can unlock the door to a happier, more peaceful life in the future, right? Without forgiveness, we have our anger, we have our upset, we have our fears, we have our pain, we have all of these other heavy emotions that stand in our way of good behavior, good actions, right? And it's when we act from these more, the place where these emotions are heavier, that we start to act out of spite, out of jealousy, right? Out of anger. And of course, we're going to just provoke the same kind of response from whoever we're engaging with, right? So really, the point is that we can't create that better life until we start to heal our hearts, until we start to heal what broke us in the first place, right? And one way to do that, one way to get yourself to that place of forgiveness is through gratitude. So that, again, I'm going to say it is really one of the keys, absolutely, to a better future, a more peaceful future. And it's necessary if you want to grow through this transformation, if you want to come to the other side and be a different person, right? A better version of yourself, have a better, stronger family. All of that's possible. I see it all the time in my practice. It's just, what are you going to put into it? So that's really why I want to talk about gratitude right now, because it's so, so important. So how do you get it, right? I mean, like, how do you get this level of gratitude? Everybody's talking about it. Everybody says it. How do you create it? How can you grow that feeling? How can you overcome yourself? How can you overcome and get out of your own way, right? And stop being so damn mad. Stop being so angry. Stop being so pissed off. Maybe you're feeling ashamed and guilty, and you just want to just let all that go so that you can feel better, so that you can feel calm, so you can feel relaxed, right? So, of course, that's the $1 million question. And I don't have, $1 million answer for you. I never proclaim to know it all, but I will say this before I get into some of the steps that I think are useful. I will say that no matter what, I don't think it's an easy process. I think it's finding gratitude oftentimes is not necessarily easy, but at the same time, it's not necessarily hard and it's not necessarily difficult. I think we can make it more difficult, but the reality is, if you can you look at it from a different point of view where it's not easy, so you're giving yourself that break, you're letting yourself off the hook. It's not going to be easy, but at the same time, it's not hard. It's not something you can't do. It's not hard. It's not that difficult. Instead, it's just something new. It's a new skill. And you've learned tons of skills in your life that now are second nature to you. And the only reason why they're second nature was because of practice, because you practice, right? Walking, there you go. Writing, talking, there you go. Those are all skills. Well, so is this, okay? So is this. And with practice, it's going to get easier and more automatic. And, the results will build upon themselves. So, that's the one thing that I think I would take to the bank, right? I mean, that's my one guarantee. So here's something that I think, here's some steps that I think are useful, right? First thing is recall an incident. Recall something that happened, right? Bring it to your mind. What was that argument that you keep carrying around with you every day? What was it that he said? What was it that she said, right? What was it that you were just bitching about to your girlfriend, to your mother, to your counselor, to your lawyer? What is it? What are the words? What is the feeling? What is it that's going around in your mind, spinning around, taking over your energy, taking over, your mind, taking over your emotions? What is it that's got you up at night? And I'm sure there's many, 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 many things, right? It's never just one thing. And maybe you'll think of one thing and then there you go, jumping down the rabbit hole, right? It's a big spiral. But I want you to try to recall one incident, something that was upsetting to you, something that made you mad, something that you carry with you, okay? Now, because I'm looking at this from the point of view of applying gratitude to some of your most challenging relationships and experiences, I'm going to caution you here. Don't pick the deepest heartbreak, right? Like, don't pick the absolute worst argument. Don't pick that World War III argument. Don't pick the worst thing that he or she ever said, okay? Don't pick the thing that has got you so wound up. It's the heaviest to carry, right? It's like your heaviest burden. Because, that's just like jumping in full throttle, head first, plunging right in. And that just might be a little too much. I really think in this area, tiptoeing into the water is probably your best option, okay? Because I think you need to build upon the little growth points The little successes with achieving some level of gratitude and positivity toward the person and a new or fresher outlook before you can get to those deeper levels, the ones that are really in there, embedded in your soul, so to speak. So when you're thinking about the incident that you're going to recall, just tip your toes in the water. Feel it out, okay? Pick something that irritated you, but didn't completely drive you mad, right? Like didn't completely put you over the edge, but something that irritated you just enough. Something that you're upset about just enough. Something that is in the way, but it's not the worst thing, right? Because there'll be plenty of time to get to the worst thing. Okay, so go, tread in those surface waters when you're going and you're thinking about what you're going to pick to kind of practice on and grow this gratitude. Okay, so recall that incident. Once you got it, I want you to just play it out. Play it out on the big screen. Sit back in your reclining chair, right? Like you're at the movie theater, and I want you to watch it unfold. And I want you to see what happened. I mean, in a sense, am I saying relive it? Yeah, I'm saying relive it. That's my suggestion. Relive it like you're there, but you're not going to relive it from your perspective of being there, from your firsthand knowledge, from your firsthand experience. I want you to relive it from a different perspective, okay? I want you to relive it from a place that is, outside of yourself, in a sense of outside of your mind, outside of your ego, outside of your current life experience, okay? I want you to really step into that part of yourself because it's a part of you, but it's a higher, greater, better part of you, right? It's that part of you that some people would refer to as their higher selves. Some people would refer to it as their soul selves. There's a lot of different names, but the point is it's that part of you that exists. That part of you that's connected to your God, that is here now and probably here before and will be here, again. It's that universal, higher level part of you, the part of you that was involved in your very existence here right now, okay? That part of you that knows the plan of your life, the book of your life, and that part of you that knows that everything that you're experiencing, every challenge you're having is here for your benefit, for your best interest, even when it doesn't feel that way, right? Even when it doesn't feel that way. So if you can wrap your head around that, what I just said, that's what I want you to look at the experience from. I want you to look at the experience from that perspective, from those eyes, from that place. So you're going to look at it like you're outside of yourself, in a sense, okay? And from your soul's perspective, from your higher self's perspective, from, maybe you can't conceive of it that way. Let me bring it down another level. The way you would want your mother to have looked at it, right? The person, the most love you want in the world, the way you would have want your parent to look at it, your best friend to look at it. You want them to tell you the good, right? I hope this is making sense. From there, as you're watching and you're unfolding, you're going to ask some questions, okay? What is it that you see? Observe what you're seeing. Observe what you're being shown as you're kind of going back and you're looking at this argument. You're looking at the eye roll. You're looking at, what was said at the Tim Hortons, whatever. Okay, you're going back in time. What do you see? What do you hear? And ask and look, what do I really need to see here? What's really beneath the surface? And what is my role? What did I do? I want to look at what I did here. What did I do? What is it that I'm not seeing right now? What is it that I need to see because I need to see this differently? And that's key. You need to see it differently. Your life depends on it. Because if you keep seeing the circumstance and the situation the way you have been, the way you've been replaying it in your mind, the way you've been retelling the story to anyone that will listen, your experience of it is going to continue to be the same. The same shitty experience of it, only it'll get worse and worse, right? Because it'll snowball in the wrong direction. So you need to see it differently. And that's the point. And that's what you're going to be wondering. And that's what you're going to be asking as you're looking at it from fresh eyes, from new eyes, from the point of, if I only want to see here, and if I want to only see because I believe that everything that happened here was for my best interest, what is it? What do I need to see? What do I need to see so I can see this differently? And then watch it unfold. Watch it unfold like you're watching it on the big screen. You're this observer and you're watching it. And you're seeing what you need to see. And you've got to have trust and faith in that, okay? And this, again, is why I say pick something lighter, right, to start with. Because you can see where this can be challenging. It can be challenging just to step into that different perspective that I'm talking about. That in and of itself takes practice, right? But it's well worth it. It's well worth it because, again, your life depends on you taking a different vision of your circumstance, all right? And once you do, and once you're seeing that unfold, you've got to feel into it then, because you're going to see something different. You're going to see how it is there to benefit you. That's where you're going to find the gratitude. And from that place, that's where you're going to be able to grow. That's where you're going to be able to heal. That's where you're going to be able to then find some forgiveness. Let the other person off the hook. Let yourself off the hook and stop skipping the record. Stop the replay in your mind and in your heart. Moving on to something better. So that, you don't find yourself 5 years down the road looking back and realizing you just spent so much of your life in hostility, right? Nobody wants that. So let me see if I can break this down into an example in what we have left here. So let's look at it like this, okay? Maybe let's look at the example of your co-parenting with somebody. You were already divorced maybe some time ago, and now you're at the stage of co-parenting. And you know what? He's always late at the drop-offs, consistently late at the drop-offs, right? And you can't stand it. He's supposed to have access every other weekend. He's supposed to have access on Wednesdays. It's a school night. Your kids are little. How is it so hard? Why is it so difficult? Why can't he just be here at 7:00? Why does he have to come at 7:15? Why is he coming at 7:30? God, and right, and you're rolling this around in your mind, and it's going to get worse, and it'll snowball into that direction of, he's such a loser. He's so irresponsible. He'll never grow up. What did I ever see in him? Why did I even do it? Oh, I know why he's showing up late. He's showing up late just to piss me off, right? Just to push my buttons, just to needle me. Well, guess what? I'll show him. He wants to come here late and drop my kids off at 7:15. He's supposed to be here at 7. He thinks that he's going to come the next time at 7:05, maybe 7:10, even though he knows that it's irritating me. Well, I'll show him the next time that he wants to take the kids somewhere. Guess what? Not happening, right? Not happening. You're not going to see these kids. These are my kids. You can't even show up on time. I can't trust you. You're irresponsible. Okay. Pause, right? This is the example. That's the mental, emotional mind train, like this little snake of poison, right? That where your mind can go, where your heart can go when you're not seeing it from a different perspective, right? And as you can imagine, if you're starting there, that's going to dictate your choices. In my example, she's going to withhold access. Well, what do you think is going to happen in the example? There's going to be retaliation, so on and so forth, until one day, if it continues, right? These little kids, they're now grown. They're grown men. And what happened? Mom, Dad, you missed so much of their life because you're too busy arguing and fighting in court, right? So that's why we're stepping in now. That's why I have this show. That's what I'm hoping to impress upon everybody that's listening, is that really it's too short. Life's too short. Your kids' lives are too short. You don't want to waste it in this pool of hostility, right? Look at it different. So if we're going to look at this example different, what would it be? How would she step into this, higher level, higher sense of herself, and not for his sake, no, for her sake, for her kids' sake, for her own peace of mind and her peace of heart and for her healing and for her growth, right? That's why you do it. So what could she see? Well, let's see. Maybe she could go back, right? She's channeling, she's looking into the situation from that higher sense of herself. And maybe now she's going to say, you know what? He picked him up. He's not perfect. I see this. He's picking them up. He's picking them up. He's still there. He's making an attempt. It's good effort. Is he going to be Father of the Year? No. Do I need him to be Father of the Year? Who's Father of the Year? I'm not Mother of the Year, if we're being honest, right? Who is? But he's there and he's making an attempt. He's a presence. When he comes, my kids are smiling, right? Maybe she'll start to see that. Maybe she'll start to see and feel that gratitude for the mere fact that out of all of her mistakes, right? Out of all of her mistakes, out of all of her choices, out of all of her decisions, at least at the end of the day, she picked someone. Sure, he was a lousy husband. They're divorced, right? She picked someone that's still there for the kids, someone that their kids can call dad, someone who will be there, that is still coming. Is he on time? No. But is he there? He's there, and that's a good thing. Isn't that a good thing? Maybe she'll find that room to be thankful for that. Okay, maybe she'll even explore a little more and say, okay, well, all right, he was 5 minutes late. He was 10 minutes late. You know what? That gave me time by myself. I'm never by myself, right? I've always got kids hanging on me, needing something, taking them here, taking them there. 5 minutes of peace, 5 minutes of freedom, 5 minutes to myself, 5 minutes to put on a coat of nail polish or something. I mean, I'm just saying maybe that's what she sees, right? You start to see it almost as a gift. Well, he just gave you 5 extra minutes. He just gave you 10 extra minutes. And that's okay to admit that, right? We all could use a little alone time, I think. So be thankful for it. Be grateful for that. Maybe you just had a few minutes to just sit there and scroll through Facebook. I don't know. But the point is, the time was yours. And that's something. That's something to be thankful for. And sure, you know what? Maybe he came at 7:15 because he stopped for food and they were in the drive-through line and it was taking too long. And it's real easy to be angry that he's 15 minutes late. And it's real easy to be angry, right, that it was another fast food line, another drive-through line. But if we're looking at it from a different place, challenge yourself, right? Maybe there's a benefit here. Your kids are being exposed to a comparison, right? And what's wrong with a comparison? As long as you have a good product, you're making a good dinner, you have a good product, they're loving it, then who cares if they're being exposed to fast food every now and again, or maybe even every time, okay? Because they're just being exposed to something different, a comparison. Let them decide. That's nothing to hold on to. So maybe you can find that gratitude in that place to say and be thankful that, they arrived safe. They arrived safe. He didn't get pulled over. There's no car accidents. They're full. It's not the best of food, right? But he's there. He's still there and he's a part of their life. And isn't that something? Isn't putting forth effort and being present something? Isn't that worth something anymore? I think it is. And I think if you can challenge yourself to go back to these things that are haunting you and stealing your life really every day, stealing your happiness, and look at it from a different place, I think you're gonna see the picture unfold differently. You're gonna start to see a different tale. I think it's impossible not to, right? And instead of seeing the tale of misfortune, right, you can start to see how whatever happened. And as much as it may have hurt you, if it happened to serve you, to serve something that was best for you, something you needed, okay, and you can find trust in that, then you can find the little gems, the little gifts in any incident, something to be grateful for. I know you can. But again, it's not easy. It's not difficult. It's just new and it requires practice. Okay? Especially in this day and age when we're just bombarded with a lot more negativity and a lot more hostility. It does require practice, to go back in and look at something from a different place, from a place that's more healing and whole and productive for a better future, more peaceful future. So I hope that this makes sense with you. And I hope that this is something that you can really keep in mind as you're going through this holiday season, and that you can take care of yourself and know that when I'm talking to you about building gratitude and growing through gratitude and this idea of forgiveness, again, it's for you. The gift in it. And what it is it's for you, because your future depends on it. Your children's future depends on it, right? Your life together with your children now and tomorrow depend on it. And there's a lot of power in that, because you have a lot of power to decide what that's going to look like based on how you're going to think and feel and go through this part of your life now, whether you're having these custody challenges, whether you're going through the divorce right now. It's a big transformation. But with that comes opportunity, and comes the opportunity to make it better. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you if you put this into practice over the next few weeks. Maybe just pick one person, pick one incident, and just do it and practice it. And I'd love to hear your story to see how you make out with this. You can find me on Facebook on the Divorce with Heart group. I'd love to hear from you there. And, if you like the show, and if this is making sense to you, I would love to hear or read a review or a rating from you on iTunes or anywhere where you're listening, because that's really how I know that I'm not just kind of sitting here talking, into space, into my microphone. That's how I know that you're out there and that you're listening, and that we're connecting and we're vibing and you get what I'm saying, right? Without that, I don't really know. So, if you could do that, it would just mean the world to me. And jump on the Facebook group page. That's the Divorce with Heart group. It's not a secret group, but it is a closed group. And as always, if you have any questions that you want to address, you can message me on Facebook or send me an email at divorcewheart@dprimalaw.com. And I just want to wish you all a really wonderful holiday season. Keep practicing what I've talked about here today in terms of growing through gratitude and forgiveness. And, think about some of the things that I said. I hope I stirred your mind. I hope I stirred things up for you enough to challenge you to look at things a little differently. And let me know how that works out. Let me know how that works out for you. I hope it works out well. Thank you for listening. This is Divorce with Heart. Have a great week. Thank you so much for joining me today. Come back next week and be sure to visit my website at dprimalaw.com to book a call, or let's connect on Facebook at dprimalaw, where you can join my group for more support. Please remember that the information shared is for general and entertainment purposes only, and that by calling in or messaging me, we are not creating an attorney-client relationship, and my advice is not intended to be legal advice. For specific legal advice, please contact a lawyer in your jurisdiction.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.